Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife video for you. Today we have another top 5 EDC knife update. I haven't done one of these in a little while, and the last one I did was well before Blade Show. And of course, I got some new stuff at Blade Show, so it's changed a lot. I keep a little spreadsheet. I keep track of what I carry every day, and I try to once a month update you guys on what I carry the most. First up, I'm just, as usual, I'm just going to do 5, but I do have 2 honorable mentions that are kind of situational knives, I would say. Sometimes I put secondary knives in here, like smaller ones that I put in a side pocket. But this month I'm gonna do some kind of situational knives. First up, we're gonna talk about the Protech SBR. This is in my pocket at some point of the day, most days this month, because I love it. Since I got back from Blade Show, they loaned it to me. So since like what the 4th or 5th, or I'm sorry, the 7th or 8th this month, it's been in my pocket almost every day at some point. But unfortunately, due to New York state laws, I cannot leave the house with it. If I was allowed to actually carry it, day-to-day carry, this would be way, 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 way up there on the list. But it isn't because because laws. So, but when I'm around the house, I know I'm not leaving the house. This is something I usually throw in the pocket. May have accidentally left the house with it a couple of times because I forgot it was in my pocket. But other than that, it's really never left the house. But I do use it a fair bit. It's a great knife. I just love the size of it. It's a Protech, so it's got that great action. Yeah, I'm not usually an auto guy because I never have had the opportunity to be. But this one is this one's making me want more autos, even though I can't carry them out of the house. But we'll see. Maybe the laws will change. Who knows? One can dream. Next up, this is another honorable mention that's very much a situational kind of knife. This is a knife I'd never carry like all day long, but every time I have to go to something where I want to have something very discreet, like at night, if I'm going out or whatever, this is one that I carry a whole lot, the Quiet Carry IQ. This is the LMAX version and the full titanium stonewash. 182 bucks, not horribly inexpensive. I think that, yeah, this is like 170, by the way. I'm going to try and remember the prices on these, but I didn't look them up before I did it, so if I miss any, I apologize for that. But yeah, I really, really like this thing. It's just a great little, as the name will indicate, quiet carry. It's very extremely discreet. You can put it in any pants. It doesn't take up any room. It does have a flipper tab sticking out, but it's very tiny. And it's just a great, light, nice, little, very gentlemanly, cool looking knife, and it's still got an action that's fun to play with. And it's LMAX. It's the only LMAX knife I have, so it's going to be around for a while, for if nothing else, just the fact that it's got that steel on it. But yeah, really loving this thing. Highly recommend the Quiet Carry IQ. And the last I looked, they had a lot of them in stock. Sometimes they don't, but last I looked, they still had a lot of them in stock. I apologize if I'm incorrect about that, but last time I looked, they did. Now, on to my actual top 5 most carried knives of the last month. The first, I'm going to give you 2 warnings. So, first warning is 3 out of 5, or 3 out of 5 are from Blade Show. Obviously, they're new. I like carrying them. And 3 out of 5 are Spydercos. I did not mean for it to go that way. I'm just being honest. I'm not the biggest Spyderco fanboy. I do like a lot of their stuff, but before you guys say, oh, he's a fanboy, it's just the way it worked out this month. 3 out of 5 were Spydercos. Just being honest. It's what the spreadsheet said. So knowing I'm going to get bad comments, here we go. First up, I'll do the non-Spydercos first. The first up is the Chavez Ultra Mar 229. Got this at Blade Show. Love it. Pretty hefty. 375 bucks. I don't know what they're going to cost when they hit the market, but I assume it's going to be that. They sold a bunch at Blade Show, and then they'll be online in stores soon. 350 at Blade Show if you didn't get the hand rub satin. I like the look of it. I really, really like this thing, even though it's big and bulky, and it's got the skull clip. I know this knife has been on this channel a whole lot, but it's been in my pocket a whole lot, so that's honestly the reason why it's on the channel a whole lot. That's why it's on this list. I do love this thing. Very thin behind the edge, nice slicer for how big it is. It is big and bulky. On hot days when I'm wearing lighter weight clothing, this is straight out. It's not something I would carry on hot days, but I do really, really like it a whole lot. It's been a pleasure. I love the action. I love the noise it makes. very glad you guys suggested that I bought it. That I buy it. It's an amazing knife. Well worth the money. Made by Riot. Great thing. You can see all kinds of links down below where you can find more of my ramblings about it. Next up, we have the Three Rivers Manufacturing Atom, another thing I picked up at Blade Show. For me, for my purposes, almost an absolutely perfect EDC. And again, to avoid the comments, yes, they're very hard to get a hold of. They did put up a waiting list a while ago. They closed it after a day because it filled up. So they are hard to get your hands on. TRM's working on it. They're not doing it to be jerks. It's a small company. They're making them as fast as they can. Trust me. I communicate with them very regularly on Instagram and stuff. They're not teasing you to be jerks. They're a company that's still growing. Give them a minute. Their knives will be a lot more widely available eventually. They got to buy new machines, all that kind of stuff. They got really popular really fast, and they're just trying to keep up. Same with like North Arm. It's the same. They're not doing it just to be jerks. Just takes a while to make, but man, is it a nice knife. I like the nested liners and the rounded contour as compared to the Neutron. I do like it in my hand a whole lot better than the Neutron, and it's not just the size, it's just the shape of it. Ergonomically, it's awesome. Nice deep carry pocket clip, very light. When you can get them in this particular with the carbon, I think these are like 210. They're down as low as I think 170 if you get the G10. I may be wrong on that. 170, 180 for the G10. It's just fantastic knife. Very thin little slicer. Not that little, I guess it's 3.5-inch blade. But yeah, for me, this is an almost perfect EDC. I'm in love with this thing. This was, by the way, I'm not going to do all these exactly in order, but this was the one I carried the most this month. Next up, now we're getting into the Spydercos. As I said, there's 3 of them, but the first one is another one I got at Blade Show. It came out before Blade Show, but that's where I happened to pick mine up. The Native Chief. Don't normally like knives with blades this long, but this one is so slim and so light and so easy to carry that I did find myself grabbing it a whole lot, especially the last week and a half or so. I've really been carrying it a whole lot because it is lightweight, but it still has this big giant blade. And it's just, I think it's going to be a huge hit for Spyderco. It's as they say, 33% larger than the regular Native. It looks even longer than that, but it doesn't feel much bigger than that. It carries easier than a PM2. It honestly does. In the pocket, it's easier to carry than a PM2, and you get a 4-inch blade. So when I'm going places where I can carry something this big, I almost always grab it. I just really like it. Very comfortable. I have almost no downsides to this knife whatsoever. Great knife. And these are like 170, 175, something like that. They're not horrid. Next up would be, this is an old favorite that I had loaned out to somebody. I got back middle of last month, and now having all this month, it's been in my pocket a whole lot again. The Spyderco Para, probably my favorite thing Spyderco makes at the moment. You guys have seen this in videos before. I love it. S30V, what are they, 180 something, 190 something. I just love the ergos. It's very comfortable. It carries very well. It's slim in the pocket. Nice deep. I love the wire clips. It's got a nice deep carry wire clip. The action on mine is outstanding. As I said in my long-term update, it is a bit off center, and I have not really been able to fix that, but the action is great, so I'm willing to forgive it for that. And it's just, I use it a lot for what they suggest to use it for. They say it's, supposed to be like a kind of food prep knife, and it works great for that. I use it, in restaurants and stuff. It's in and around the kitchen a little bit, but mostly just when I'm out at restaurants. I eat at a lot of crappy steak places that give you crappy knives, so I take that, even though I know, yes, using the knife blade on a ceramic plate is very, very bad for it, but I touch it up and when I'm done and blah blah. But I love carrying this knife. It's, like I said, probably my favorite thing Spyderco makes right now. It really is. It's a fantastic knife. And lastly, it is getting hotter out. I am starting to rotate some lightweight stuff in more. Next month, you're going to see even more of that. And even though In my comparison test between the Benchmade Bugout and the Para 3, I said the Benchmade Bugout won, and I still feel that way. I do feel like the Bugout's a better knife. I find myself carrying the Para 3 lightweight more, and I'm not really sure why. I have no quantitative thing to say why, but it just seems like I grab this more often. And I know I grab it more often because I haven't carried the Bugout at all this month, and I've this one made the list. So it's just, I can't identify why. Maybe it's just the familiarity, with Spydercos, although I have a lot of Benchmades too. I don't know. It's just, I carry it more. And I have no clue why, but I do really like it. BD1 in steel, $90. It's a great knife. Would highly recommend it to anybody. I do apologize before I get comments. There's not much budget stuff on this month. But again, that was a blade show. That's the way things happen. I want to put some expensive stuff. And that's just mostly what I've been carrying this month. So next month, it'll probably be more budget oriented, probably a lot lighter weight because it's going to be hot. So that's it. That is my my top 5 most carried with a couple honorable mentions for this month of, well, it was last month of June of 2019. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.